This season I'm helping my producer find a lake house that needs a lot of work, and we're going to turn it into his dream vacation getaway for his family. But he has to let me do all the renovations, and then the family can see when it's done. All right, the countertops are in, so it's time to get ready to start painting. But before we jump into just painting the thing, we got to prep it properly. Well, you guys ready to see it?
We're ready. Are they going to keep the house, folks? Are they going to sell it? Maybe they'll rent it. Maybe you could go visit on the weekends and just rent it for a night or two.
Smile. You woke up in Texas, one of the fastest growing states in the country. Meet Jim Dutton,
Tools make the job. It ain't a good day till we tear something up.
contractor and syndicated radio show host,
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
along with the Texas Home Improvement team.
Oh, look how beautiful it is.
Here to show you how to get the job done right and protect you from out-of-state bootleg contractors.
And that's what you get when you hire a bootleg contractor.
This is Texas Home Improvement.
All right, the countertops are in, so it's time to get ready to start painting. But before we jump into just painting the thing, we got to prep it properly. We're going to be spraying here, so we got to make sure to cover everything well, tape up stuff so that the paint doesn't just blow in underneath and coat everything. Beyond that, we got to caulk all the joints. We've got to use a good primer. We're going to use an oil-based primer so it soaks deep down into the wood, so that when we're putting our final coats of paint on, they're not soaking in and changing the tint on them a little bit. That does happen. Don't let somebody try to sell you a primer paint together. Use a primer first to get a better job in the end. Yes, you're going to take a little bit longer doing all the prep work, but your paint job's going to last a lot longer as well. All right, you see the smile? You know what that means? We're finished. Everything is done. The only thing we have left to do is to give Brian and Terri a call, get them out to look at the house so they can make the decision what they're going to do with it.
Here's some stuff you need to know.
All right, we take a lot of calls on the show about septic versus aerobic systems. The big difference between a septic tank and aerobic tank, when you have septic tanks, you typically have one tank that gets all the trash into it. You got a second tank that the fluid goes into from the first tank, and then it goes out in through a leach field that soaks into the ground. It's a perforated pipe with gravel around it to allow the moisture to soak out of the pipe and soak into the ground. When you're dealing with an aerobic system, you're dealing with one large tank that goes in the ground and has 3 chambers, and it moves from one chamber to the other, each time getting cleaner. By the time they pump it out of the 3rd chamber, it's just a sprinkler system going out onto your yard, but that water has 0 nutrients. So it's not doing your plants and grass a whole lot of good, but it does really mimic a regular city sewer treatment plant. So you don't have to worry about having too much company and having an overflow problem.
All right, it's the moment of truth. You ready to see the house?
I am. How about you?
I'm excited, but I'm a little nervous.
I'm nervous too, like really nervous.
What are you nervous about?
Well, we don't know what colors they picked. I'm excited to see the colors. I'm a little bit nervous about the washing machine because we talked about the washer dryer. That was my number 1 on the list. So I don't know where, there was really no place to put it. So
Well, it was all wood, and there was really no place to put the washing machine.
Right.
So there were a couple of places that maybe would fit, but it's Jim Dutton, so let's see what he did.
And he's the expert.
Well, you guys ready to see it?
We're ready.
Now, if you remember, it's all wood inside. We've made a couple changes to it, but just be prepared.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
It's so beautiful.
You like that hardy siding?
I
It
love
is
it. I never thought you'd do hardy.
gorgeous. I love the color. I love the color.
You had too much wood. It was time to clean
Wow.
stuff up.
Wow, you didn't just put a bucket of paint.
No.
You put, is that Color Plus?
Brian, how long have we worked together? Are we going to shortcut?
No.
Okay.
Wow, that is a beautiful house.
All right, come on in and take a look.
Oh, wow.
Where'd all the wood go?
Well, wood is great, but we had to put a little color in here. So I got Shelly from Floor and Decor to come out and help with picking colors and granite countertop colors and all the stuff that we needed to add to make it a nice house.
I mean, it looks like a lake house. The countertops look great. They fit with the colors, and I'm not a color expert at all, but that looks great.
Well, the blues, the grays, and all that brings in the watercolors.
It's gorgeous. I love this countertop. It's just beautiful.
Well, and new windows, new everything to make
Everything.
the house pop.
Oh my gosh, it just all goes together. Now, this is all fine and dandy, but what was my number one concern about this house? Do you remember?
I wasn't listening to your concerns. I was talking with Brian.
Washroom.
Oh, I got a big rock down by the lake for you.
Oh, come on. Tell me you got me a washroom.
We got you a washroom.
Yes.
Alrighty, we'll start with that laundry room you keep asking about.
I
So,
love this door.
isn't that cool?
I love it.
So here's your laundry room. Now, we put a small laundry room because this is a lake house. It's not where you're doing 15 loads a day for the girls and stuff at home, but this covers your washer and dryer.
I love it.
Now, how in the world did you get the space?
Well, it actually took it out of the closet from the master bedroom because this was just a tunnel closet. You couldn't get back to this end anyway, so we just cut it off, ran the water and drain lines, and you got a washroom
Would you run the plumbing from that bathroom?
underneath.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's gonna be perfect.
Oh, you got your one?
I did. I can wash, I can dry. I've got a place here for my supplies. Great little lights. Perfect. I love it.
All right, from the laundry room, you got the master bedroom.
It's beautiful.
I love all the decorations.
I just love that the paneling. I mean, I love the painted paneling. It's kind of that texture all in itself.
I'm hearing somebody who's going to keep a house instead of selling
I
it.
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe. I don't know.
It looks good. It looks like a lake house, and it's so much brighter than it was before. And I'll tell you one thing, these wood floors, I thought you put in new wood floors.
You know, when I first saw the house, I thought we were going to have to put new floors in, but after we got everything painted and we pulled up the paper off the floors and stuff, there was no need. They were in great shape.
They look brand new.
They do.
Looks great.
Here's one of the bedrooms. It makes a great guest bedroom because there's no windows in this room. So if somebody likes it dark, this is the
This
spot.
will be the dungeon room.
Yeah, and one of the best things is it's got a bathroom with it and a shower.
Nice. That's right. I forgot. It does. It has its own little.
Well, I remember it. It had a pretty messed up bathroom with the sink was. So I'd love to see what you
From
did
like
to it.
1970.
Well, we'll take a look.
Right.
All right, and here's your guest bathroom. You got a brand new vanity. You've got a shower, closet, of course a toilet, everything you need for your guest to be comfortable. All righty, we can come on out on the deck, and I mean, you guys have seen the lake view already. It's gorgeous, but what you didn't probably notice yet is we had to change out some of the windows. Some of the glass was fogged up, and so we went with all new America's Choice windows in the house. All the wood has Ready Seal on it. We even included new windows and James Hardy siding on the boathouse
dock.
down
Wow.
there, along with Ready Seal all the dock and everything. So the house is ready to go to enjoy all summer long. All right, so my part of this project is finished. Now you guys have to sit back down with Todd and figure out if you're gonna keep it or rent it or sell it or what you want to do with it, but the keys are now yours.
Well, thank you. You did a great job.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, so we're going to see Todd Tramonte today, and rather than sit in a conference room and go over the numbers, he invited us to come on his radio show. So I'm going to grab Terry, and we're going to go in and have some fun and see the numbers.
All right, folks, Brian's with us every single week on the radio show, but it's very rare that we get one of the wives in here. Now, my wife was in here making fun of me one time because I made a mistake on tax information, but Terry, Brian's wife, is in here for a much, much more exciting and more positive reason. So welcome to the show, Terry.
Thank you, Todd.
I never give such a positive greeting to Brian. It's always like my guard's up with Brian because he's always firing questions and trying to trick me in front of the beautiful people of DFW. But welcome to the show. Let's tell folks why you're here. So if you've been paying attention on the show, pretty much every week we've given some form of an update on the property purchase that Brian and Terri and their girls made of a lake property recently. But Jim and I, Jim Dutton from Texas Home Improvement, have been kind of running the show on this thing, and we've kind of kept Brian and Terri and the girls at arm's distance from the property. Now, in the beginning, I think they really liked this, and then there's been a period of kind of being held away that maybe wasn't so enjoyable. But you guys recently got to see the property, and what did you think?
It's beautiful, Todd. You guys did a phenomenal job.
It really is great. What do you think, Brian?
I love it. I love where Jim put the washroom. I couldn't believe it. We didn't know where it would go. We saw all that wood. We saw all the stuff that we're like, what is he going to do with this? How is he going to make this look better? The outside was awful.
Yeah.
And I think he put the washroom in the right place.
I'm just glad I have a washroom, Todd.
Yes. Listen, the first time we saw it, we said it would be easy to add one. It'd be a no-brainer to do it. So here we go. We bought the house for right around $180,000, right? $180,000 into the house. And then Jim and his amazing team have been able for about $30,000 to turn this from a functional, good, decent lake house into what is really, really a beautiful lake house that is the people on the block are really proud of. You guys are really proud to call your own, and friends and family have really, really been impressed by. So very, very cool. For about $210,000 total into the property, you guys right now are looking at a property with brand new siding. You guys went ahead and did the laundry room like we talked about. There's a couple of different places you could have put it. I think Jim did a really great job with it. Obviously, you love having it. You'd love having it no matter what, but it's in a good spot, and it looks good, and it's added value to the home. We're going to talk more about that in a second. You guys did the countertops in the kitchen. Now, we talked a lot about that, Brian and I, right here on the show, as well as off air, about whether that was the right choice or it was needed. And we both agreed it wasn't needed, but if done well, would be a really, really great addition for you and your enjoyment of the property, but also to the value of the property. How do you guys think those turned out?
When you say needed, I don't know. I would say probably not, but what would you say?
I would say needed. Maybe not so much. I mean, we didn't have to have granite per se, but we needed new countertops because the ones we had bubbled.
Right.
When you put your hand underneath it, you could get a cut from it being really sharp. So we definitely needed
particle board bottoms and bubble top was serviceable for a lake property, but it wasn't something you were excited or proud of. And the granite turned out great. You also did brand new windows on the entire property, and I remember the first time we looked at it, that there's the bedroom that had the really bad window, and then the whole back view was good, but it wasn't as great as it could be because it is great now. Am I right?
You're right, for sure.
So the windows made a big difference on that, but talk about the rest of it. I mean, you've guys gotten to see it. I mean, there's energy efficiency. They look great from the front. I feel like the whole thing is brighter and bigger, right?
The first thing you noticed when you walk in the house was that front porch. I didn't know if I was going to fall off of it when I put my hand on the rail. That's been completely redone.
Right.
Like you said, the window, you couldn't look out the window to see the lake.
Right.
The windows look great.
Which is kind of important in a lake house.
Right. And I'm terrible with color, so I'll let her. I love it, but I don't know how they picked that color because that works beautifully with the lake.
Well, I just remember first walking in, Todd, when we walked in with you guys, thinking, oh my goodness, I'm in a box.
Right.
I don't know if I can live in a box. And they did a fabulous job. They picked a beautiful gray color, and they accented it with white trim, and it's lovely.
Yeah, and it was fine initially, but it was wood on wood on wood on wood, just raw wood color everywhere, and the stuff that wasn't raw wood looked like raw wood, and so it was just kind of a blah wood box. And now it looks like a home, right? So really everything's coming together. They did some work on the dock. That's been stained and kind of given a new life and revived, and then paint all over in the property as well. So I'm sure at this point you guys are somewhat curious kind of where we are on value here. So I want to tell you what that is, but because we're on the radio, I don't want to tell your personal business to everyone on earth. So I'm going to write this down, and I'm going to slide this over to you, and we'll just kind of get your thoughts. But okay, careful there. I'm going to need those fingers. Before you respond, my thinking is you might potentially want to consider selling it. That was not your original plan, but once you look at that number, you may want to consider
$260,000,
okay,
Todd?
Well, now everybody knows. So we are live on the air. That's okay. I think she knew and just didn't care. So for folks that are listening, let's just recap really quick. And by the way, I'm not finished with surprises yet, so we're not quite finished here. $180,000 purchase price, $30,000 in renovations, so you've got about $210 into it. And it was a decent house. Now it's a beautiful house. And you just announced to the world, which is great. That's your right. I wasn't going to do it, but you can. It's yours. That it's probably worth about $260,000 right now. Now, it would also renting is an option. We can talk about that in a minute too. But there's about a $50,000 spread there, right? So in a matter of months, in a very short period of time, you guys have captured a significant chunk of equity in the property. That if you wanted to sell it, right now is an opportune time to do that. You could walk away with a big chunk of cash. Now that's one option. Certainly up to you to decide. But
I think that's a good option.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I think we need to talk about it.
It's not a bad option. Okay, so we'll go to the break here in a second, but I have one more big surprise before we do that. And when we do, you guys can go think about it, and you'll literally have about 6 minutes. And if I can talk you into it, we'll bring you back on after the break, and we'll talk about where you guys might want to go with this. But big surprise. All right? Now, you may or may not have noticed that the previous owner has not come and picked up their boat yet, and that's because that boat is your boat. They included the boat, the furniture, the tools, all the tubes, and all the life vests, and all that boating equipment in the shed is yours. They're not coming back for that. All of that is yours. You've got $210,000 into it. You've got $260,000 valuation on it, plus you now own the boat and all the gear and all that. Now, by the way, remember all their old furniture that they hadn't come to get? Now, that was included too, but that's all now been sold and replaced, and all the furniture in the house that's in there now is not staging. That's yours.
So I thought you staged it.
Well, we stage every property we sell, but we haven't decided if we're selling this thing yet. So that furniture is yours to keep, no matter what you do. Everything that they left, they did leave, and we were able to sell that and put that money into what you've got now. So that was great too. We appreciate the hard work of the team on that one. And you guys have a decision to make. So we're going to go to the break here. After traffic and weather, we'll come back with more Texas real estate, and Brian and Terri will have a decision to make for them and their girls and their family. Are they going to keep the house, folks? Are they going to sell it? Maybe they'll rent it. Maybe you could go visit on the weekends and just rent it for a night or two. We'll have all that and more with more Texas real estate on WBAP.
Here's some stuff you need to know.
Water in Texas is extremely expensive, and one of the things that we did to this house to help make the yard a little bit more affordable and keep it green, because let's face it, it gets hot in the summer and ground starts turning brown. Well, we added a pump to keep the yard irrigated. We're going to pull the water straight out of the lake, but you've got to make sure to pull the permits to do that. All lakes in Texas are man-made. Somebody controls that water, and you better have their permission to be taking the water.
You guys have a decision to make. So we're going to go to the break here. After traffic and weather, we'll come back with more Texas real estate, and Brian and Terri will have a decision to make for them and their girls and their family. Are they going to keep the house, folks? Are they going to sell it? Maybe they'll rent it. Maybe you could go visit on the weekends and just rent it for a night or two.
Well, I really love the house. I'm super excited about it. I love everything that Todd said in there. I love everything that Todd and Jim did to the house. I love the washroom. I love the barn door. I love the paint. I love everything. I just really hope I can convince Brian to keep it. So what do you want to do?
Well, all I can say is that's the most amount of money I've ever been offered for anything as far as a profit that we would make. So that'd be the biggest check I'd ever put in the bank in that short a period of time. But I will admit to you, I did know about the boat ahead of time.
You did?
I did. He told me about that within the process of it. He said that David was working out a deal to get the boat. So I knew that going into it. So I wanted that to be a surprise.
That's pretty
for you.
exciting.
It is. And it's also exciting the amount of money we're going to get for this house.
But it'd be more exciting if we actually took the boat and used it. Like kept the house and enjoyed it and had vacations there and weekends there with our girls, which is kind of one of the reasons we bought it in the first place. I just think it would be a lot of fun to keep it.
It would. I just did not expect them to do such a good job. I knew Jim would do a great job. I didn't expect the hardy siding. I didn't expect the paint colors to do so well.
And I love the washing machine.
I love
and
the washer. I love that
washroom.
barn door they put on
The
there.
barn door is beautiful.
It
yeah,
looks great.
It
So-
does.
You know what's happening in there right now, right? I know Brian too well. He's absolutely talking her into selling that bad boy. I don't know if she'll do it, but that's what's happening in that room right now. He's saying, we need to sell this property. And I don't know if I blame him. We'll see.
It looks great, and I think that's what would help it sell better, and we can make more money on it. But based on what I'm hearing from you, and all, I think we know what we need to do.
All right, folks, welcome back to Texas Real Estate. Now, this is one of the more exciting cliffhangers we've ever had going to the break. We left you with a tease. We gave Brian and Terri McFarland 6 minutes to go sit and consider what they want to do with this house. Now, if you didn't catch the first half of the show, we talked about this amazing experience of Brian and Terri buying this house. Jim Dutton and I have had the opportunity of remodeling it for them and increasing the value. And they've got $50,000 of home equity that they weren't necessarily planning on. And the question was, are you going to keep it or are you going to sell it? So what's it going to be?
Well, I appreciate you giving us 6 minutes.
That's right. It could have been 5. Could have been 4. 6 is a lot.
You're right. Thanks for the generosity there. Based on everything, we talked it through, and we think that we're confident we're gonna keep it.
Okay, good. Now listen, that may not be what most of our listeners wanted because $50,000 is a lot of equity to find in a couple of months.
It was a difficult discussion. I'll just say that.
Well, and you had so much time. You could pros and cons for at least 3 of those minutes. But that's the decision I wanted you to make all the time, the whole time. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the girls. That's why you bought it in the first place. Now the good news is you've got that equity. But you feel good, Terri?
I do.
Okay, I can see it on your face, and I know the girls are going to love it, and that was always the intention, to cruise in your brand new boat and for you guys to ski and tube and enjoy it. So, and we haven't really talked about the best part, which is just the lot and the natural, the view from the back of that house. So it's been really, really great. I want to wish you guys an amazing future in that home. If someday it comes to sell it, you know who to call. But if not, enjoy it forever and ever. Maybe we'll rent it out on some weekends, but it is going to be a huge blessing to your family. I'm glad that's the choice that you guys made.
Well, I really appreciate you helping us with this, and I've never trusted somebody so much. So you and Jim did a great job, and we're excited to go. I'm going to get in that boat and let's go to the lake house this weekend.
Let's take the girls tubing. I think they'll have a blast.
They will.
Well, you guys go do that. Thanks for coming on, Terri, and letting us tell your story a little bit. And we'll be back with more of your questions in just a minute.
So we've been at the lake house for about 6 months now. We're having a blast. We love it. We have no regrets. The kids are having a ball. They're tubing, they're skiing, they're riding the jet ski, and it's just been super fun, and we love it.
Hey, got a question during the week? Go to our website, thipro.com, and click on the Ask Jim button. If you're looking for a great contractor, one that'll treat you fair and get the job done right, go to thipro.com and take a look at the contractors in your area that I've already checked out. Don't forget to listen to Texas Home Improvement every Saturday and Sunday right here in Houston on News Talk 740 KTRH. Are we going to shortcut?
No.
Okay.
Wow, that is a beautiful house.
Ow! Molly. Are we done?
Don't get those cheap throwaway paintbrushes. They leave streaks. I don't like that.
Huh? Hello? That's good. What? Marge! I want a chimichanga!
Can we see the rest now?
No.
All right, are we cutting? Good. Now what do we do? Please don't get that in the shot. No, that's fine, but this part we're all
All right, I've had enough of this damn project. We're finished. So I'm going to tell Brian, come take a look at it when you're ready. Teasing.